And I'm gonna hit, and we're all set.
Great. Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Before we get going, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting of the Traffic Commission will be conducted via remote participation. We will post an audio recording, audio-video recording, a transcript, or other comprehensive records of these proceedings as soon as possible after the City of Somerville, on the City of Somerville's website. All right. May I get to see if we have a quorum for this meeting?
Yes. Commissioner Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
Deputy Chief Tierney,
Yes.
and that's 4 in attendance. And the counselor had reached out that she was unable to make tonight. So we do have a quorum with 4 members.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Item number 1, acceptance of the, oh wait, do I need a roll call vote? But we're good, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Suffices as a roll call vote.
Okay, wonderful. Item number 1, acceptance of the minutes from the April 10th, 2023 Traffic Commission meeting. Can I get a motion to accept or deny these minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept.
All right, Lieutenant Rymel?
Second.
Wonderful.
Second.
Can I get a vote to accept the minutes of the April 10th, 2023 minutes?
Yes. Chair Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
Deputy Chief Tierney,
Yes.
and that's 4 yes, and the motion carries.
All right, wonderful. Item number 2, request for the accessible parking spaces at the following addresses: 14th Grand Avenue, 19 Eastman Road, 28 Walnut Street to be placed at 16 or 18 Walnut Street, and 42 Fremont Street. Who is here to discuss these items? Oh, there's also, I'd like to lump in item number, never mind, this is good. Who's also here to discuss item number 2?
Through the chair, Adrian Pomeroy, ADA coordinator with the City of Somerville. For this month's Traffic Commission meeting, I received 4 resident applications for accessible parking spots and did a site visit for each. All of them are pretty straightforward with the exception of item C, 28 Walnut Road. Walnut Road is an interesting street as that some of it where this resident actually lives, there's a sidewalk in front of it, and then there's sort of this funky corner that starts the residential parking. So the location will probably be at 16 or 18 Walnuts Road, but I have to work with parking to find the first available legal spot to put the spot. The resident is aware of this, and they're fine with it. But other than that, I recommend all 4 of these.
Any discussion from the group? Because this is different. We have Walnut Road and we have Walnut Street, correct?
Correct.
So this is Walnut Road, okay.
Yes.
Hearing no discussion, can I get a motion to accept or deny item number 2 for the request at accessible parking spaces, A, B, C, and D?
Motion to accept.
All right, can I get a second, Lena?
Oh, sorry, Lena, could you repeat that? I think you're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, seconded.
Great, can I get a roll call vote to accept item number 2, A, B, C, and D?
Yes. Chair Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
Deputy Chief Tierney,
Yes.
and that's 4 yes, and the motion carries.
Wonderful. On to item number 3. Regarding the curb on the east side of Medford Street from 20 south of Broadway, from 40 feet south of Broadway, request to convert 20 feet of meter parking to accessible parking. Adria, is this for you as well?
Yes.
Wonderful.
This was a collective effort with Jessica Balo, who is a traffic engineer, and she couldn't be here this evening. But she discovered and talked to me about there's actually no accessible parking whatsoever in Magoon Square. And there's a few shifts going on there with parking with the Clear Corners initiative and things such as that. So we determined that this would be a good place on Medford Street to put a city use or whoever wants to use it, accessible parking space. So I recommend this. And I believe, as it says, it will be replacing one of the metered parking spots on Medford.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept or deny item number 3?
I'll make a motion to accept.
All right,
Second.
wonderful. Can I get a roll call vote to accept item number 3 regarding the curb on the east side of Medford Street from 20 feet south of Broadway to 40 feet south of Broadway and request to convert 20 feet of metered parking to accessible parking?
Yes. Chair Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
Deputy Chief Tierney,
Yes.
and that's 4 yes, and the motion carries.
All right. Any other items on this for you tonight, Indiana?
Nope.
All right, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
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 All right, moving on to item number 4, request to convert 2 metered spaces from 461 to 463 Artisan Way to police vehicle only parking. Who is here to discuss this item?
Lieutenant Ryan, Chairman,
Wonderful.
through the Office of the Chief of Police. This is the area, as you know, down at Assembly Square, where we currently have a substation. The only problem we've had since the inception of the substation is no parking for police vehicles. Sometimes in emergency situations, officers have had to run and get to their cars that are parked so far away from the building that it becomes a public safety issue. Parking across the street, the vehicles can do damage to the grass area, to the dog park. That's the last thing we want to do. We are in the works, so hoping this could be just a temporary thing to get these parking meters, is working with the MBTA that owns some property across the street. However, that's going to take a little bit of time. By the time we get the paperwork in place, they get their equipment out of the way, and they're even willing to pay for marking the spaces for us and whatnot. So this could be just a temporary fix. I've tried actually several options. I've tried getting spots at the yacht club, spots in the garage itself. The problem with those is key cards for the yacht club, not being able to get in and out of the parking lot quickly. Same thing with the garage. We could very well have 2 spots on the bottom floor. The only problem is if a movie's getting out or it's very busy and we're 15, 20 cars deep, no siren, siren blue light in the world is going to get us out of there. We'd have to crash through the gate. So we were just hoping to get 2 spots adjacent to the building where the substation is housed to make quick, accessible access for the officer to go and do reports, talk to citizens, whatnot, and be able to get to those cars if needed in a hurry. The officers conduct a lot of work at these substations, and the spots are really needed. The last thing we want to do is do any damage to any property in the area, which we've been getting complaints from. The officers, sometimes not even knowing it, are parking on grassy areas. When they pull away, they damage the property. We don't want that to happen. And of course, the last thing we want to do is take over 2 spots for the public by taking these spots. So that's why I say this is probably just going to be a temporary fix. So we're looking to get just 2 spots. Maybe it's just for something of 3 to 6 months, and hopefully, after working with the T, we can get something on a more permanent basis.
Okay, any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, can I get a motion to either accept or deny item number 4?
I'll make a motion to accept item 4.
In a second,
I'll second that.
can I get a roll call vote to accept item number 4, request to convert 2 metered spaces, 461 to 463 Artisan Way to police vehicle parking only?
Yes. Chair Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
and Deputy Chief Tierney,
Yes.
and that's 4 yes, and the motion carries.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Wonderful. Moving on to our last item of the evening, requesting the curb on the north side of Beacon Street from approximately 111 feet west of Dickerson Street to approximately 164 feet west of Dickerson Street. Request to convert 53 feet of 2-hour parking except by permit to a loading zone between 8 AM and 4 PM. 2-hour parking except by permit, 4 PM to 2:30 AM, and permit parking only 2:30 to 8 AM. Who is here to discuss this item?
Through the chair, it's Greg Hannafin, with the Mobility Division.
Okay.
And the item can be slightly amended. It's actually already permit only parking from 2:30 to 8 AM. But that was left out of what was submitted. So that is not a change that's requested.
Okay,
So this item is in response to a loading zone request that was received from the owner of Trina Starlight Lounge, which is located at 3 Beacon Street. It's in Inman Square, right at the Somerville Cambridge line. As part of the Inman Square reconstruction project that Cambridge recently completed, the street in front of the restaurant was restriped. They had a loading zone right in front of their restaurant on Beacon Street, but because of changes to the street width, there was no longer space for a loading zone, so it was restriped as a bike lane, and the business lost their loading zone as part of that project. So they submitted a request for a loading zone, and this location is approximately in front of 9 and 11 Beacon Street, which was the closest curb space on the side of the business that was available to accommodate a 40-foot loading zone.
okay. And you might have said this, but the 2:30 AM, is that standard?
I believe on Beacon Street, yeah.
Okay, I just have never seen, I don't recall seeing that recently. Further discussion on this item? All right, hearing none, may I get a roll call vote to accept or deny item number 5?
Motion to accept?
All right, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Great, can I get a roll call vote to accept item number 5 regarding the curb on the north side of Beacon Street from approximately 111 feet west of Dickerson Street to approximately 164 feet west of Dickerson Street? Request to convert 53 feet of 2-hour parking except by permit to loading zone between 8 AM and 4 PM. 2-hour parking except by permit, 4 PM to 2:30 AM, and permit parking only 2:30 to 8 AM.
Yes. Chair Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
Deputy Chief Tierney,
Yes,
and that's 4 yes, and the motion carries.
Rock and roll. Can I get a motion to adjourn this wonderful Cool Beans meeting?
Only if you sing it for us. Do you remember
September.
21st day of September? All right, never mind.
Oh, I know.
21st day of September? Really? Right over everybody's heads? Okay.
That was great. I know that was awesome. Oh, wow. Only to
Come on.
remember. Oh, yeah. September.
Come on. That was
I'm sorry I opened my mouth.
All right. Who's gonna make, so you get to make the motion to adjourn then?
I will then. I make a motion to adjourn this meeting on the 21st day of September.
That's right. Can I get a second from Earth, Wind and Fire, Lena Webb?
yes.
Can I get a roll call vote, please, to adjourn this incredible meeting?
Yes. Chair Lathan,
Yes.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel,
Yes.
Deputy Chief Tierney,
Much as I like to hear Lena sing anymore, but that's fine.
and that's 4 yes, and the motion to adjourn on this 21st night of September
Hallelujah.
carries.
I wish we had this tune. Something to September. Hallelujah.
This is why
Rock and
we
roll.
scheduled to. This is why we
Nobody
scheduled 1
knows
week
the
later.
word.
Do you remember? All right, guys, have a great evening.
you as well.
Head for a week.
Bye-bye.